I'm actually outside trying to see if I can find a snake, a garter snake. Why? Because I have a topic to talk about. Are supplements snake oil? I spent nearly 2 decades in the supplement industry, and honestly, I think that's a fair question. There are people who think supplements are a scam, and there are people who think supplements can cure everything. I disagree with both. Here's where I stand. Supplements are regulated. They're regulated differently than drugs, but they are not unregulated. And no supplement should claim to cure disease. If a company is promising miracle cures, you should absolutely be skeptical. The real conversation isn't whether supplements are good or bad. The real conversation is which ingredient, at what dose, and for what purpose. And what does the evidence actually show? Are supplements regulated in your opinion?
Yes, absolutely. So in the US, supplements are regulated, which essentially treats them as a category of food, not drugs. So companies don't need pre-market approval like they do in Europe or Mexico. They are responsible in the US for ensuring safety and compliance, before the product is marketed. We do have to ensure that the science is there. We need to make sure that the ingredients that we want to include in these supplement products have a regulatory status.
We actually discussed this on episode 6 of the Balterra Wellness Podcast with supplement attorney Arturo Reyes. One of the biggest misconceptions in our industry is that supplements aren't regulated, and that's simply not true. The real debate is whether regulations are being enforced effectively and whether they should evolve. And there's another important distinction that often gets lost in these types of conversations. Not everything people want support for is a disease. Aging isn't a disease. Exercise recovery isn't a disease. Menopause itself is generally considered a natural stage of life. Again, not a disease. That's one reason supplements occupy a different space than pharmaceuticals. Drugs are intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent the disease. Supplements are intended to supplement the diet and support normal structure or function in the body. Those are very different standards, very different regulations, and very different expectations. Recently, the CEO of the Council for Responsible Nutrition published an open letter responding to criticism that dietary supplements are exempt from regulation. His argument wasn't that the system is perfect. His argument was that enforcement gaps and bad actors are often mistaken for the absence of regulation altogether. And that's a conversation worth having, because if there are weaknesses in the system, we should talk about them. If there are bad actors, we should call them out. If regulations should improve, let's discuss how. But let's start from facts, not assumptions. So if you're skeptical of supplements, I want to hear from you. Tell me why in the comments. If you think the industry is broken, tell me where. If you think I'm wrong, again, tell me why. I'll read the comments, I'll respond respectfully, and I'll continue learning from people who disagree with me. Stay balanced, stay clear.